So you walked out to your garden this morning, coffee in hand, ready to admire those tomato plants you've been babying for weeks, and bam, yellow leaves. Suddenly your tomato looks less summer harvest and more haunted house. Before you panic, rip it out, and swear off gardening forever. Stop. Put the trowel down. Yellow tomato leaves are one of the most common problems in the vegetable garden, and a lot of the time they are fixable once you understand what the plant is trying to tell you. Today I'll show you why tomato leaves turn yellow, how to narrow down your cause, and what to do next without making things worse. Let's dig in. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Yellow leaves are not one single problem. They're a symptom. Your tomato plant is waving a little flag saying, something's off. The fastest way to diagnose it is to ask, where is the yellowing happening? Old leaves at the bottom? New leaves at the top? Is the whole leaf yellow? Or are the veins still green? Are there spots? Is one side wilting? Those clues matter. Let's start with the least scary possibility. Sometimes yellow leaves are normal. If only the lowest, oldest leaves near the soil are slowly turning yellow, while the rest of the plant is green, vigorous, and making new growth, your tomato may simply be shedding older foliage. As it matures and puts energy into new leaves, flowers, and fruit, those bottom leaves can fade. Snip them off with clean pruners, especially if they touch the soil, to improve airflow and reduce splash-up disease risk. If the plant looks healthy everywhere else, congratulations. That may be the easiest garden mystery you solve all season. But if yellowing is spreading upward, appearing fast, or paired with curling spots, wilting, or poor growth, now we investigate. Cause number 2 is the big one, watering. And here's the plot twist that catches gardeners off guard. Yellow leaves are often caused by too much water, not too little. Tomato roots need oxygen. When soil stays soggy, roots struggle to breathe, and stressed roots cannot pull up nutrients well. The plant may look hungry even when nutrients are present, because the roots are basically sitting in a swamp. Inconsistent watering causes trouble too. Drought, then flood, then drought, then flood, stresses tomatoes, affects nutrient uptake, and can contribute to fruit problems later. So don't water on a fixed robot schedule. Check the soil. Push your finger about 2 inches down. If it feels moist, wait. If it feels dry, water deeply at the base. A moisture meter can help in containers or raised beds where soil dries unevenly. The goal is not constant wetness. The goal is steady, even moisture. Drainage matters too. If your tomato is in a pot, make sure it has drainage holes and water can actually escape. In heavy clay soil, water may sit around roots longer than you realize. Mulch helps keep moisture even, but don't pile it against the stem. Leave breathing room. Now let's talk food, because tomatoes are heavy feeders, especially once they grow fast and set fruit. A common nutrient issue is nitrogen deficiency. The older, lower leaves turn pale, often evenly yellow across the whole leaf. It usually doesn't look spotty at first. It looks like the green is slowly draining away. Why old leaves? Nitrogen is mobile. When the plant runs short, it moves nitrogen out of older leaves and sends it to new growth. Clever survival move, but it leaves lower leaves yellow. The fix is usually a balanced vegetable or tomato fertilizer used according to the label. But please don't go wild with nitrogen. Too much gives you a huge leafy tomato jungle with very few tomatoes. We are not here to grow salad garnish. We are here for fruit. Compost builds healthier soil over time, but if your plant is actively deficient, compost alone may not work quickly. Think of compost as long-term soil support and fertilizer as more direct help when the plant needs it now. Next, magnesium deficiency. This has a signature look. Instead of the whole leaf turning yellow, you see yellowing between the veins while the veins stay green. Gardeners call this interveinal chlorosis. Yellow tissue, green veins, often starting on older lower leaves. Magnesium deficiency can show up in sandy soils, heavily leached soils, or where nutrients are out of balance. Some gardeners reach for Epsom salt because it is magnesium sulfate. Yes, magnesium can help if magnesium is truly the problem. But slow down and put on the detective hat. Do a soil test first if you can. Adding magnesium when the plant doesn't need it can throw other nutrients out of balance. More is not automatically better. Sometimes more is just a new problem wearing a different hat. Remember the bottom versus top question? If the newest leaves at the top turn pale yellow while veins stay green, that points more toward iron deficiency. Iron is not mobile in the plant like nitrogen, so newest growth shows symptoms first. But iron deficiency often isn't from a total lack of iron. It can happen because soil pH is too high, too alkaline, which locks iron away. Tomatoes generally prefer slightly acidic soil, around the low to mid-6 range. If pH is off, nutrients can be present but unavailable. That's why soil testing is so valuable. It stops you from guessing and helps you fix the real problem. If your pH is off, adjust carefully and gradually. Soil chemistry is not something to attack with random handfuls of amendments. Follow test recommendations, retest when needed, and make changes with a plan. Now let's shift to disease, because sometimes yellow leaves are not about food or water. If you see yellowing plus spots, especially on lower leaves, think fungal leaf disease. Two common ones are early blight and septoria leaf spot. Early blight often creates dark spots with rings, almost like tiny bullseyes, and usually starts low on the plant. Septoria tends to create many small circular spots with darker edges and lighter centers. In both cases, surrounding leaf tissue may yellow, then dry and drop. Start with sanitation. Remove infected leaves, especially lower ones, and throw them in the trash. Don't compost diseased foliage unless you know your compost gets hot enough to kill pathogens, and most backyard piles don't. Water at the base instead of overhead, because wet leaves help fungal diseases spread. Water in the morning so foliage dries faster. Space plants well, prune for airflow, and mulch soil to reduce splash-up. If disease pressure is high, a labeled organic fungicide may slow the spread. But follow the label and remember, fungicides work best as prevention or early control, not magic erasers after the plant is covered. Now for the ones gardeners dread, fusarium wilt and verticillium wilt. These are soil-borne diseases, and the clue is often uneven yellowing or wilting. One branch may yellow, one side may droop. The plant may wilt in daytime heat and perk up at night, at least early on. Hard truth, once a tomato has one of these wilt diseases, there usually is no cure. Pull the plant, throw it away, and do not compost it. Avoid moving that soil into other beds. Prevention is the strategy. Choose resistant varieties when possible. Look for disease resistance letters on tags or seed packets, like V and F. Rotate tomato family crops so you're not planting tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, or potatoes in the same spot year after year. If a bed has a wilt history, consider containers with fresh potting mix for a season, or choose resistant varieties more carefully. Before we wrap up, a few lookalikes. Yellowing can happen after transplant shock, especially if seedlings moved into sun, wind, or cold soil too quickly. If the growing tip stays healthy and the plant settles in, it often recovers. Yellowing can also happen when leaves are shaded inside a dense plant. Those leaves aren't doing much photosynthesis, so the plant lets them go. Container tomatoes can yellow quickly because nutrients wash out faster and roots have limited space. They need steady watering, good drainage, and regular feeding according to the fertilizer label. So here's your diagnosis checklist. First, look at location. Old leaves or new leaves? Second, look at pattern. Whole leaf yellow, yellow between green veins, or yellow with spots. Third, check moisture. Dry, evenly moist, or soggy. Fourth, check roots and drainage in pots. Fifth, test soil before adding amendments, especially for pH, nitrogen, magnesium, and general fertility. Sixth, remove diseased leaves promptly and keep water off foliage when possible. And here's your prevention plan. Water deeply and consistently. Mulch around the base. Feed with a balanced, tomato-friendly fertilizer, but don't overdo nitrogen. Prune lower leaves that touch the soil. Give plants space to breathe. Use cages, stakes, or trellises so foliage stays off the ground. Rotate crops when you can. Choose resistant varieties when disease has been a problem. Above all, test before you guess. Yellow leaves are frustrating, but they are information. Your tomato plant is not failing you. It is sending clues. Bottom leaves fading slowly? Maybe normal aging.